Alright, so we have our login and register page UI done. Now we need to work on the functionality, but before functionality, we are going to need the loading indicator, the alerts, etc. We already have one confirmation box, device native, that is in our cart service. So before working on the functionality of login and registration, let's work on these things. So getting device specific stuff. So what I mean by native stuff, the loader, activity indicator, that should come from device, not Blazor, the .NET MAUI side. And then same thing for alerts, toast messages and all. Okay. So for alert and activity indicator, we can directly have, but for toast messages, we need to use one NuGet package, that is community toolkit.maui package. So in our MAUI project, I'm going to right click, manage NuGet packages. What is happening? Manage NuGet packages. Something is not right, my system. So here we'll say community toolkit dot maui is mvpm maui. So community toolkit dot maui, we are going to use this, and we just saw in previous things this 10 11 these versions have some issues with the current setup, so we'll use 9.1.1. I don't remember if 9.1.1 or 9.0.3 this works. Let's try 9.1.1. We'll see. Let's install it. Apply. I accept. What is this thing? Auth. Okay, it is not getting it right, but we can run. So let me do this. Let me close the Visual Studio, open it again so that it can simply fix this. Everything looks fine, but this is a classic Visual Studio problem. You just can't understand it. It breaks anywhere. I closed and opened the Visual Studio. So now it can see. Let's see if the package was installed. Community toolkit.mau. Yes, it is installed. Now when we install this, we got this readme file with this use Mau community toolkit. So we need to add this thing in our Maui program.cs. When we are building our builder, so this one, here we'll simply say use Maui community toolkit. Save it, and now we are good. Now what we'll do in our services only, we can create a service here, or we can have a global app state. Okay, what I'll do, maybe inside services only, we can create a file. We'll say app state cs public class appstate.cs, and this is going to be, it can be a singleton, it can be instant the single static, because here we are going to have only one. Okay, let's do this. We'll do two things. So in app state, we'll have our loading indicator. Okay, if this is right now loading or not. So for loading state, we are going to use app state, and for the alerts and all those things, we are going to have a separate separate class. We'll say, we call it public static class, let's say MauiInterop. Okay, here we are going to have public async task. We'll say show toast async. We are going to have a toast message with message. Here we'll simply say await, and then we can simply say alert toast await toast, which comes from community toolkit.maui.alerts. Okay, toast.make, using make we make the toast, using message you can have other options as well, font size, duration and all. We'll go with the default, and then we have this show method which is going to show this toast. Okay, so here we'll say public static async task show toast async. Then for the alerts, we'll say public static async task. Here we'll say show alert async. Now for this one, we'll say we'll get a string message and we are going to get a title. By default, we'll have this as alert. Here we'll say await. Now app.current.windows. So we have this mobile application with only single window. So we can access this window 0 dot page dot. Now here we have this display alert. Inside this we can get title, message and cancel. So we can hit title, then message and then simple cancel button. We'll say okay and we are good with this. Now for this page, this is of type page, we can simply have here only, we'll say private static page underscore page. We can have this like this. Here we can simply access this thing directly. Then we'll say underscore page like this. Same thing we'll do for the confirmation. Let's say just toast async, alert async, and then here we'll say confirm async. Confirm async. We'll have message, we'll have title, okay, and then this should return task of bool. And here we are going to use display alert of title, message, and then if we see we have one overloaded method of this with accept and cancel. Okay, so with accept we'll say yes, for cancel we'll say no. We can have these also as a parameters to this only if we want to, but yes no will suffice, but we can go with this. We'll see if we need somewhere some other message, we can add these parameters here as well. Okay, now let's move this MauiInterop to some different class. We have MauiInterop, we can directly use this. Or let's, what if we just call it Maui only? It work? It can, but maybe it can clash with some other stuff. So MauiInterop is fine. Save everything. We can have it only as well here. Cool. Then we have this app state for our loading indicator. For this, what we will have, we will simply have a property here. We'll say private pool, or let's say not private, we'll say public pool. We'll say is loading, or we will say is busy if it is doing something. Okay, then we will have helper methods. We'll say public void show loader. If that's the case, we'll set is busy to true. Then we are going to have one more method, public void hide loader. We'll simply say is busy to false. Okay, now we are going to have a singleton instance of this app state. So we'll go to Maui program. We are going to say dot add singleton here. So for these Maui applications, singleton and scoped are same. Add singleton app state. Now we just need to use this app state where we need two places. First, we'll trigger the loader, so we can trigger it from all our Blazor pages. But where we are going to show this? So this is going to be shown using native activity indicator. If we see main page.xaml, this is our main page, which is the container for our Blazor application. So here we are going to have that activity indicator. The way we are going to have it, we will have a grid here without any row column definition. We are going to wrap this Blazor web view inside this grid. And in here only after Blazor web view, we are going to have our activity indicator. Vertical options at center, so it should be vertically centered, and horizontal options at center. Save it. Now we are good. Now it has a property is running. We need to show that is running to true and false. Now what we will use here, if we use this, it will always be running, And if we use false, it will always be in hidden state. But we need this to be driven by this app state's is busy property. We need to bind this app state to this thing. For this, what we need to do, we need to set the binding context. So we'll go to main page.xml.cs here. We are going to inject the app state here, app state, and we will set binding context to this app state. Then we'll go to my main page.xml. Here we can access that thing. Now for IntelliSense support, we can set data type of this page, which is going to be this binding context. That means app state. So app state is coming from the namespace freshwagecard.services. So we need this namespace. In XAML, we need to add namespace. This is actually XML only. So XMLNS. Here we'll say services. This is the name of our namespace alias, because whatever we want to have, we can have after XMLNS services. This is the name I am giving it. Then here we will use our services namespace, this one. So this name is up to us. Now we will have IntelliSense support. So here in this X data type, if I say app state, we'll pick this up. So now we have services app state. Now when we set this data type on this page, now in this activity indicator, we can access something with binding. So binding, then we have this is busy property here. Now what is going to happen whenever the app state has this is busy property, whenever this is busy is going to be true, it will simply start running. Whenever that is false, it will simply stop running. That means it is going to be removed from the screen. Now, by default, it will not pick up any change inside this. Is busy, we are setting it. But after setting, after initial thing, it will not know if this thing has changed. So for this, how this XAML works, all these pages work, it simply gets notified whenever I notify property change is getting triggered. Whenever we are notifying property change for this. So here what we'll do is app state, we are going to implement an interface I notify property changed. So we'll implement this interface. It has this property changed event. Now whenever we are setting this, at that time we can raise this property changed. Now what I will do for this busy, I'm going to change this to full property. Full is busy is, that thing is using this, we are good. But we have this backing field which we are going to use to set and get values from. Here we have this setter. First thing we will check if this is busy is not equals to value. If we are setting true to false or false to true, then only we should have this logic. What logic? First we'll set is busy to this new value. Then we are going to call this property changed. So on this property changed, we are going to say property changed dot invoke sender. We can have this property change event args. So we'll say new property change event args. Here we need to provide property name. Property name is busy. This main property. With this, now whenever we are using this is busy to true or false, it will simply come to this setter. We'll check and it will raise this property. And whenever whenever this event gets raised, the XAML will simply pick this up and it will modify this piece of code. So if it is busy, it will show the loader. If it is not, it will simply hide that. Now we just need to use this app state. I can quickly show you this on our main page. So if we go to pages, components, pages, home page, here we are loading the products. It takes some time. Okay. What we can do, we can simply inject app state. We'll call it app state only. Here we'll say app state dot show loader. After getting the items, we'll say app state dot hide loader. Save it. And then in the cart page, Not in cart page, cart service actually. Cart service, we have this cart service. Here we had that this confirmation, right? We will change this confirmation to use our MauiInterop. So we'll say MauiInterop dot confirming. Here we'll simply have confirm question mark. Then we are going to use this message. Yes, no are all already there, so we don't need to provide these explicitly. Using this, we can get rid of this save. Save it, and we are good. Now, after clearing the cart, we can also do one thing. We can show a toast message. So we'll say await MauiInterop dot toast async. Here we can say cart cleared. And when we are removing an item, here also we can simply use await MauiInterop dot toast async. Here we'll say item removed, something like this. This needs to be a task, async task. Remove item. Let's see from where we are calling this remove item. We are calling this directly from on click, so we are good. It will simply work out of the box. Cool. Save everything and I will run this. But before that, because we closed the Visual Studio, opened it again, so we need to run our dev tunnel, because that's what we are using for our API. The selected API project, and go to the dev tunnel, select this dev tunnel which we created, and run the API project in non-debugging mode. API is there. Now let's select our mobile device, and it is not picking this up. This is also a problem if we have connected our phone and we close the Visual Studio and open it again. The connected local device does not recognize. We need to remove the USB cable and attach it again to the phone. Then it will pick up. Android local device. Now it is picking it up. Let's run it. Now let's see if Visor is able to show the things. No, not. So we need to close it. I'm using Visor for mobile device mirroring. We can see it. All right. Let's wait for it to build and come. And we have an error, main page app state, because we are creating instance of this main page and we are not injecting app state here. So we need to add app state as a parameter here, because we want the same instance of app state everywhere. We'll have this app state injected in our app.xaml.cs. Let's have underscore at the very beginning, then underscore app state, we are going to use it here. Run it. So you see we have that activity indicator you saw. If you go to this thing, clear, nothing will happen. Let's go back to home page. We can see that, but it has that bluish color. It should have match with our main color. I'll show you how to do that here. Then we'll say clear. We can see this confirmation and it is reversed. This should be here and this should be here. We'll fix this. Then toast message, right? If I do this, you see item removed. This is the toast message. So all these things are working. Let's change this title as well. Fresh veg cart. We'll have this spacing. Now for the activity colors, indicate the activity indicators color, right? This color. So it is, we can have that color here if we want to, but let's do this. We have our main color in our app.css. Our main primary color. This is the color which we are using for most of our part. For this, we will go to the resources, and here we'll go to We don't have this resource. Okay, we'll go to app.xaml. Here we have resource dictionary. Okay, we don't have anything here. All right, let's set it on main page.xaml only. Let's set it here. So we'll say color. We can directly provide this value. Save it, and we should be good. Then the confirm text, right? So we'll first go to MauiInterop. Here we'll see display alert, title and message. Here we have message and title. That means from where we are calling, we provide it differently. So this first one is message, then second one is title. This is how we are using it. So we'll say message first and then title second. Save it. And now we should see the thing which we want to see. Okay, app is loading up. And we can see this color. You see? I mean this color only. We have these things. Let's select something. Go to the cart page. If we say clear, we can see the correct order. Confirm, are you sure you want to clear the cart? If we say yes, we'll see cart cleared. So alert, toast, activity indicator color, everything is working fine. Now we'll go to the login page and register page, working on these two pages functionality.